Nintendo Switch. Switch you to microscope. And it's pretty clear what is initially wrong with this. Get that in view for you. At 3, 4, maybe just 3 severely bent pins. One that wants to be bent. There's another one on the side. Yeah, another one. So yeah, we have a very clear problem on this one. We'll have to see if it caused any collateral damage. There's one bent over there on the side that's a little hard to see. It's been over the side of the plastic. So yeah, lots of damage in there. We'll have to see if it caused anything collateral and go from there. So we will disassemble and remove the port and test. Okay, we're set up to remove the port. Before we begin, let me throw up the temps. We have to remove the port because there's no point in doing measurements with that port on there. So it needs to be our first priority. I don't anticipate I'll use the Pico pencil, but oftentimes I don't anticipate it and I end up using it anyway. So I never say never, or that I'm not. Okay, we will start by doing what we always do. We will flood the visible portions of this port with low melt and go from there. Let's connect our meter. Try and be mindful today and let you guys see stuff. Not that there is much to see. I'm going to be measuring in continuity for this portion. You might need low melt all over the place. Okay, so we're going to stop by this capacitor right here. And this capacitor is linked to Pi 3 USB on the other side. And let's go ahead and put a red on ground. Flip them around. So easy to do under a microscope. Okay, appears to be okay. And now we're going to check what we think are the signal lines going to the M92T36. Now the ones that have two sides, one will be ground, but the ones that have singles should not be ground. This one has a ground, and it actually didn't have a signal, but this one has a double signal, so one will be ground. Okay, everything looks good there. Let's continue. Check around our MOSFETs. Looks good. This is the version with the diode arrays, so you have to be cognizant of that. Appears to be good. Let's check all of our test pads. This one should be ground. None of the rest except the one near the battery should be ground. Oops, we have a shorted line here. Interesting. Okay, we do have a shorter line. Let's make sure I'm not actually, I don't have like a micro bridge on these pads. Might. Okay, so we will note that this guy here is shorted. I do not believe it should be. Continue checking. Okay. Let's check our BQ. We should not be short to ground, but there should be continuity through. Alright, everything looks fine around BQ 24193. This one has me a little perplexed why that's short of the ground. Am I just reading that wrong? I don't think it should be. So we're going to check the Pi 3 USB area. Just because it doesn't show on the other side of short doesn't mean it's not. Okay. We want these to have be continuous through, but not side to side. Now there are different revisions of these boards, so, but to my knowledge that line should not be shorted. And I'm not seeing anything obviously causing that short though. Let me check around our 3-phase buck regulator. Okay, everything seems normal there. Is that another one that in this configuration is ground? You know what? Let me pull up my guide and just see. I don't know if it's this particular revision though. This guide is on. Okay. No, I do not believe that one should be ground. Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over. No, I'm looking at the wrong one. Should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should not be ground. I do not believe that should be short of the ground. Yeah, let's look at the right one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel like we are going to have another problem, but I'm not sure what it's going to be. Inspect. I think we have a line shorted to ground. Are the diode arrays causing my crap? My situation? Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does not seem to directly connect to that one. Does that connect anywhere? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth over other side. 4. I'm reading that right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it's light. No, it's light blue on that one. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the side. That can't be right. Fourth on the side. Does not seem short. They're on blue, maybe the second one. Second one. Well, these appear to be short there. Weird. It's going to be difficult to test the other diode array. I'm going to try. I'm worried about. It does not seem to connect diode arrays. Measure around our other max. What line is that? Well, Vcon. Vcon. Does not appear to be shorted. Interesting. I wonder if I'm being led down a rabbit hole that I don't see. Everything in the LCD connector looks okay. Okay, I don't think that line is supposed to be shorted, but let's go ahead and put on the new connector and see what's going on. See if we can figure that out. Okay, let me test it one more time with it cleaned off. Just make sure we weren't having any weird micro bridging or something. No, it's still reading ground. I don't believe it should be reading ground. 1, 2, and 3. Sure, we're watching or looking at the same. Yeah, 1, 2, and 3. I should not be reading the ground, in my estimation. One more time, I'm going to check. That has me concerned. Everything's checking out here. Everything is checking out. So why is VCon reading to ground? All indications it should not be reading to ground. Switch to diode. Okay. Yeah, I think our diode's toast. Shouldn't be getting a reading both ways, in my opinion. Let's remove that diode. It will function without it. And it can cause Joy-Con and fan issues, so we will just pop it off here. Let's see if we still have our VCon shorts. No. Oh, wait. We gotta switch back. He very may still have it. So, yeah, it's still short. What is causing my short here? Don't feel like we should be having a short there. Just for grins. Take a look under. Measure without. It's the only other thing plugged into the dang thing is and it's still short. So not the NAND. I'm a little confused. Alright, let's put the port back on and see what happens. Maybe I just don't know what I'm doing, but I'm pretty sure that should not be shorted to ground. Check one more thing. Check this MOSFET down here. I don't usually check it, but nothing. I'm seeing no reason for that to be shorted to ground. It's got no direct connection to the diode arrays. I'm pretty sure I checked that thoroughly. Actually, it does. That's the one we're worried about, right? Yeah. Okay, so it is directly connected to the diode arrays. We're going to pop those off. Let's see if there actually is a problem. If there is, we will learn something today. Or if there isn't, rather, we will learn something today, so... Okay, let's perform a quick test. See if we get anything resembling normal behavior. Nothing. Well, now we're getting something. Let's grab my battery. See if it does anything with the battery in it. Definitely there's nothing real on there that should be causing one-side charging issue. Appear to be getting one side charging. I wonder if we got another Pi 3 USB that's died without shorting. Or maybe it's just not liking my dang PSU. Okay, well, I have another option. Nope, it's only going 4.94 on the OEM, 0 amps. What's the charger? Nothing on the other side. There we go. Or it could be M92T36. Okay, let's change the M92T36, pull it, and we'll see if that short is a lead. That'll be an interesting way of finding a short. Alright, let's measure again. Fortunately, there are no schematics for these things, so anybody like railing against that. Ah, there we go. Our short is gone. So very interesting. That is something to note in a future video. Let's switch it back to scope. Or that is very interesting to note in the future. If this part, and let me get the exact name of that signal. That is blue, dark blue, so that's VC Con. A8. And one side, so one tester calls a VC Con. What does this other one call it? SBU1, I don't know what the heck these designations are. And CC, no, it's just SB. Nah, come on. Now, that one, okay. Let me zoom in here. These are two different diagrams I'm looking at. Okay, A8. SBU1 is what it's called on this diagram. On this other one, with the tester, would be called VC Con. I have no idea what that is, but if it is short, it appears to be connected to M92T36 being a dud or being dead without presenting normally. So that's interesting. I'd never run into that one before. Let me put another M92 on here and make sure that is the case. If that returns, we still may end up having a rabbit hole to chase. Okay, let's try a quick test again. First, I want to see if that short has come back. If it was just the disconnection that relieved it. It has not returned. Okay, interesting. We learned something new today, maybe. Well, definitely, we learned something new today. But quick test. Okay, resembles normal. And that resembles normal. Awesome. Okay. So what did we learn today? We learned this guy here should not be short of the ground, and if it is connected to M92T36. Now it does go through the diode array, so I'm pretty sure it's probably, if it blew M92T36 through the diode array, it's probably a good idea to remove that diode array. Let me put you back on microscope. So this was short of the ground. It does make connection here, I believe on this pin. So if it blew through the diode array and blew M92T36, then it was probably a good idea to remove the diode array. So I'm not regretting that. I'm also not regretting removing that fuse because it did seem short. So, and again, those are non-critical items. We're not going to replace them. I'm going to finish cleaning up here, and then we're going to assemble enough to test our theory and see if everything worked out. Okay, I think we're ready to test using my known good battery. Let's grab our test cable, TCU cable, PSU cable, rather. And let's see what happens. Full battery symbol. Logo. All right. And we're up and running. So that's very good news. I'm going to power it down. Actually, hold up. Just double check that we're charging on the other side too. There we go. Could be a little bit finicky sometimes. Alright, we're charging onto the other side, so now we will power down. And we will reassemble entirely and let it charge on its own battery, and then we'll run through some tests. Okay, we're back. It's backing up and running at about 13% on its own battery. I do want to test it with my Joy-Cons. Make sure everything is copacetic, is recognizing it, and is charging. So everything's good. I do believe that diode was bad, so we probably would have had a problem here with the fan and the Joy-Cons. So we accidentally fixed a fault we didn't realize we had, I think. Alright, let's close that out. Let's go to settings. Make sure we're getting our networks. And we are. Great. Okay, let's go ahead and test our game card reader. I just want to put this through the thoroughly through the paces before I button it up. I usually test these things pretty thoroughly anyway, but I had a weird one the other day where the battery ended up being bad. Okay, it did pick up my game. Sure. And appears to be loading it. This game has long periods of the black screen for some reason. Freaked me out the first time. Okay, so I'm fairly convinced with that. Go home. Okay, next thing to do is set up for dock test, and I'll have to set that up and we'll be back. Okay, and as you can see in the top left there, we are docking. So we are docking, we're charging on both sides, we are loading games. So I think that's going to be it for this one. Okay, in summary, we had a broken port. That was 100% a problem. Had like 4 bent pins. We removed the port and started doing testing, and nothing was presenting as normal. I mean, we had no shorts around M92, T36, we had no shorts around BQ24193, we had no shorts around Pi 3 USB. But when I went to go measure the test pads, we were getting a short on SBU1 or VCon. Depends on what adapters or what guide you're reading. I believe the proper term is SBU1, and that is, you know what? I guess I could show you on the microscope what pad that is. Let's switch you over to microscope. So that was this bottom pad here, and I've never seen a fault present itself this way, especially not an M92 fault. So I fumbled around for a while trying to figure out what was causing that fault. This is not their board, this is my donor board, so don't panic about the mess. So I fumbled around trying to figure out where the fault was. I pulled the diode arrays. They could have been a problem later, so not a big deal. I went and tested the fuse over the back of the fan, because I know that can occasionally be a fault on the revision that I was working on. And it did seem like the fuse was bad, so we probably prevented ourselves a problem there. And still, we had a short. So I kind of stumbled my way into the solution when I plugged in the OEM charger with my USB-C meter, and it was pulling like 5.6 or 4.7 and 0 amps. But what was the telltale sign to me was the fact that it was not drawing 15 volt. So I was like, that typically would be straight up an M92 T36 issue because it controls the voltage. So we pulled the chip, we tested them to see if the short was relieved. It was relieved, which was just completely new to me. I did not know that line shorting would go to M92T36, and apparently I'm not the only one. I asked around, and there was a couple of guys like, I had no idea. So, yep. So that line being shorted was M92T36. We put a new one on. It seemed we did an initial test. It tested out fine, and now everything seems to be working fine. I'm gonna let it sit here and charge for a while. I got to button up the back cover, and then drop it off to the shop. That's really all I have for you in this video. I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions about the equipment I used in this video, they're all linked in the description below. If you like the video, hit the like button, do me a big favor, and it will really help the channel. If you have any questions, by any means, post them down. I do like answering questions. I answer questions in Discord channels and Facebook groups all the time. So, and I try to be helpful where I can when I have time. If you like this type of content, hit the subscribe button, maybe the notification bell. You'll know when I post videos. Right now it's about 2 times a week, and that's really all I have to ask of you. I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next one.